Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Hidayah binti Muhammad Moridi. Number menteri H21A2425.
I will discuss about introduction, the financial statement of Grand Central Enterprise Berhad and Berjaya Land Berhad, which include a statement of the group and the company financial position, a statement of comprehensive income, a statement of shares equity, and a cash flow statement of the period ended. As well as not the financial statement include a summary to key accounting principle. Financial statement that go with them, in our opinion, present a true and fair picture of the group financial situation as well as the company financial performance and cash flow for the period under consideration.
Berjaya Land Berhad was incorporated in 1990 to implement the restructuring scheme undertaken by Sport Toto Malaysia Berhad. Sport Toto, whereby the entry capital of Sport Toto was acquired by Bilan. Tan Sri Datuk Seri Panglima Richard Melanjam was appointed as director and chairman to the board on 9 December 2019. Berjaya Land Berhad and its subsidiaries, Bilan or the Group, is one of Malaysia's leading company with interest in gaming and lottery management, motor retailing, hotel and resort, recreation development, vacation, timeshare and property development and investment. The hotels and resort business segment of Bilan is operated via the Berjaya Hotels. Hotel Grand Central Limited owns and operates hotel and property throughout Singapore, Malaysia, Australia and New Zealand. Incorporated on 13 June 1968, the company listed on the Singapore Stock Exchange in 1978 year. The founding hotel, Hotel Grand Central, was built by the late Tan Chee Hui and his son, Tang Eng Tiong. Tang Eng Tiong, male, aged 83, Malaysia, was appointed as the executive chairman of Grand Central Enterprise Berhad on 20 November 1991 and is one of its founding members. Mr. Tan has over the years accumulated vast experience in the hotel and travel property development and investment and management industry.
Hi, my name is Nofatia binti Mustafa. My metric number is H21B2406. Now, I want to present about trend analysis for Berjaya Land Berhad in liquidity ratios. First is current ratio. The ratios are 1.10 in 2020 and 0.97 in 2021. Next, the quick ratio is decreased from 0.75 in 2020 to 0.66 in 2021. The last one is net working capital in 2020 are positive, which is 523 to 56, and in 2021 are negative, which is negative 144586.
Assalamualaikum sir, my name is Nur Shashana Nadilah binti Supi. My number metric H21A2603. I would like to explain about ration analysis related to activity trend analysis in company Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central Enterprise Berhad. Activity trend analysis in company Berjaya Land Berhad. Total asset turnover in 2020 was 0.32 times and the ration has increased to 0.37 times in 2021. Net the turnover of account receivable in 2020 was 3.51 times and this ration has increased to 4.00 times in 2021. Net the average collection period is the average number of day of company takes of college account receivable. The average collection period in 2020 was 102.31 day and this ration has reached 89.83 day in 2021. Besides inventory turnover ration, the inventory turnover ration is an efficient consideration that show the effectiveness of managers inventory by comparing the cost of goods or good with inventory for a period. They measure how many times in inventory is exchanged also in a period. Inventory turnover was 3.91 time in 2020 while it increased to 4.70 time in 2021. And last, fixed asset turnover ratio. The fixed asset turnover ratio show how well of efficiently that company use fixed asset to generate sales. The fixed asset turnover ratio increased from 0.46 time in 2020 to 0.49 time in 2021.
The debt ratio for Berjaya Land Berhad has been increased from 0.35% in 2020 to 0.50% in 2021. Berjaya Land Berhad debt to equity ratio has been lowered from 304.2% in 2020 to 0.2% in 2021. The time interest earning ratio was reduced from 7.40 times in 2020 to 2.38 times in 2021.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Siti Nuriha binti Kamal Zaman and my metric number is H1A2685 and I will present about the profitability ratios part. Profitability ratios for Berjaya Land Berhad 2020 and 2021. As we can see on the table, the ROE for Berjaya Land Berhad is 0.01% in 2020 to 0.05% in 2021. The ROA for Berjaya Land Berhad is 0.00% in 2020 to 0.02% in 2021. The gross profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad decreased from 0.27 in 2020 to 0.26% in 2021. The operating profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad is 0.02% in 2020, increased to 0.03% in 2021. The net profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad is 0.01% in 2020 to 0.06% in 2021.
Now we move to the next slide about trend analysis for Grand Central Enterprise Berhad illiquidity ratios. First is current ratio. The ratios are 15.72 in 2020 and 18.66 in 2021. Then the quick ratio increased from 15.56 in 2020 to 18.44 in 2021. Last is net working capital. In 2020 are negative, which is negative 483,75773, and in 2021 are positive, which is 50243396.
Activity trend analysis in company Grand Central Enterprise Berhad. What went to explain is total asset turnover in 2020 was 0.05 times in direction has increased to 0.08 times in 2021. Next, I went to explain in turnover of account. The turnover of account recoverable in 2020 was 3.61 times, and this ratio has increased to 4.70 times in 2021. Net average collection period. The average collection period in 2020 was 99.62 day, and this ratio was lowered to 29.16 day in 2021. Net inventory turnover ratio. Inventory to turnover was 21.9 times in 2020, while it increased by 29.16 times in 2021. The fixed asset turnover ratio increased from 0.07 in 2020 to 0.17 times in 2021.
The debt ratio for Grand Central Berhad is 2020 was 7.27% and this decreased to 0.06% in 2021. Grand Central Berhad debt to equity ratio has been lowered from 80.67% in 2020 to 7.16% in 2021. The time interest earning ratio has been lowered from 4.0 times in 2020 to 1.4 times in 2021.
For the next slide, it is about profitability ratios for Grand Central Berhad 2020 and 2021. As we can see on the table, the ROE for Grand Central Berhad is 0.05% in 2020, decreased to 0.01% in 2021. The ROA for Grand Central Berhad is 0.04% in 2020, decreased to 0.01% in 2021. The gross profit margin for Grand Central Berhad decreased from 0.92% in 2020 to 0.90% in 2021. Next, the operating profit margin for Grand Central Berhad is 0.97% in 2020, decreased to 0.24% in 2021. Last, the net profit margin for Grand Central Berhad is 0.81% in 2020 to 0.13% in 2021.
The next slide is about comparative analysis for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central Enterprise Berhad in liquidity ratios in 2020. First is current ratio, which is for Berjaya Land Berhad is 1.10, smaller than Grand Central is 15.72. Next, quick ratio, Berjaya Land is 0.75, smaller than Grand Central is 15.56. The last is net working capital. Berjaya Land is 523,256 and Grand Central is 483,75773.
Analysis ratio, comparative analysis. Activity ratio for both company in 2020. The total asset turnover is an activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central different time, which is 0.32 times and 0.05 times respectively. Account receivable turnover is also activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different time, which is 3.51 time and 3.61 time respectively. Average collection period is also an activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different days, which is 102 days and 100 days respectively. Inventory turnover is also activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different time, which is 3.91 time and 1.92 time respectively. Fee asset turnover is also activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different time, which is 0.46 time and 0.07 time respectively.
Hi, my name is Kamala Devi Motri. My matric number is 6218231. I want to explain about leverage ratio or core debt ratio in comparative ratio. In 2020, Berjaya Land Berhad had a lower debt ratio of 0.35%, indicating a conservative approach to leverage, while Grand Central Berhad had a higher debt ratio of 7.27%, suggesting a larger reliance on debt refinancing. Berjaya Land Berhad also had a significantly higher debt to equity ratio of 4.2%, indicating a higher proportion of debt relative equity compared to Grand Central Berhad ratio of 0.67%. Furthermore, Berjaya Land Berhad exhibited a higher time interest earned ratio of 72.40%, indicating better coverage of interest expenses with its earnings, while Grand Central Berhad had a lower ratio of 4.0%. These differences highlights Berjaya Land Berhad's lower reliance on debt, higher debt to equity ratio, and better ability to cover interest expenses compared to Grand Central Berhad in 2020.
For the comparative analysis for the profitability ratios for both company in 2020, the table shows return on equity is a profitability ratio for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central Berhad. Return on equity of Grand Central Berhad is higher than Berjaya Land Berhad in 2020 because the higher ratio it indicates and also the higher return of shareholders. Next, return on assets for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central Berhad shows different percent, which is 0.00% and 0.04%. Next, gross profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central Berhad shows different percent, which is 0.27% and 0.9%. Next, operating profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central Berhad shows different percent, which is 0.02% and 0.97% respectively. Last, net profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central Berhad shows the different percent, which is 0.01% and 0.81% respectively.
Then, comparative analysis for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central Enterprise Berhad in liquidity ratios in 2021. First is current ratio for Berjaya Land is 0.97, smaller than Grand Central is 18.66. Next, quick ratio for Berjaya Land is 0.66, smaller than Grand Central 18, which is 18.44. And the last one is net working capital for Berjaya Land is negative 144,586 and Grand Central is 50243396.
Analysis ratio, comparative analysis. Activity ratio for both company in 2021. The total asset turnover is an activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different time, which is 0.37 time and 0.08 time respectively. Account receivable turnover also activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different time, which is 4.00 time and 4.70 time respectively. Average collection period is also activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different day, which is 19 days and 77 days respectively. Inventory turnover is also activity ratio. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different time, which is 89.83 time and 76.65 time respectively. Fixed asset turnover is also activity ratio too. Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Central show different time, which is 0.49 time and 0.10 time respectively.
In 2021, Berjaya Land Berhad exhibited lower leverage ratio compared to Grand Central Berhad. Berjaya Land had a lower debt ratio of 0.50%, indicating minimal reliance on debt to finance its assets, while Grand Central had a higher debt ratio of 6.56%. The debt to equity ratio for Berjaya Land was higher at 22.02%, indicating a higher proportion of debt relative to equity financing, whereas Grand Central had a lower ratio of 7.17%. In terms of the time interest in earned ratio, Berjaya Land had a higher ratio of 2.38, indicating its earnings were sufficient to cover interest expenses, while Grand Central had a lower ratio of 1.4, suggesting potential challenges in meeting interest obligation. Overall, Berjaya Land demonstrated a stronger financial position with lower debt reliance, higher debt to equity ratio, and better coverage of interest expenses compared to Grand Central in 2021.
Next, profitability ratios for both company in 2021. In the table, return on equity for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Center Berhad shows different percent, which is 0.05% and 0.01% respectively. Return on assets of Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Center Berhad shows different percent, which is 0.02% and 0.01% respectively. Next, gross profit margin. Gross profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Center Berhad shows different percent, which is 0.26% and 0.90% respectively. Next, operating profit margin. Operating profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Center Berhad shows different percent, which is 0.03% and 0.24% respectively. And for the last, net profit margin. Net profit margin for Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Center Berhad shows different percent, which is 0.06% and 0.13% respectively.
In overall analysis, we can get Grand Central Berhad outperformed Berjaya Land Berhad in key financial ratios and profitability metrics in 2021. It demonstrated stronger liquidity position with higher current and quick ratios, indicating better ability to meet short-term obligations. Grand Central Berhad also exhibited better operational efficiency with higher equity ratio, indicating effective working capital management, while Berjaya Land Berhad had a lower debt ratio and higher interest earned ratio, suggesting a more conservative capital structure. Grand Central Berhad outperformed in profitability ratio with higher returns on equity and assets, as well as higher profit margins. Investors may consider Grand Central Berhad as a more attractive investment option, but a comprehensive analysis should consider qualitative factors, industry trends, and future prospects. Research and analysis beyond provided information is crucial for informed investment decisions.
In conclusion, both companies have a good business and also some shortcomings involving financial relation in the company, but the company increased its profit a lot in 2021, which shows that yes, there was a lot of improvement in the company financial. This is because the company, namely Berjaya Land Berhad and Grand Center Enterprise Berhad, do an effective money collection management strategy. This is because the two companies made the choice to change short-term debit to long-term debit. Therefore, both companies get more benefit than monthly payment for the business they do. This is because when more interest rate obtained, their business debit will decrease and the cost of debit will also decrease.